AI, a controversial subject, but I don't give a fuck. So, I've stumbled upon a little recent trend where something is AI generated and then improved by a human being. And so I've decided I wish to take part. And the only way I can do that is through tanks. And so here is how I'm doing it. I'm using Stable Diffusion with the Anything V3 model to generate a few dozen blueprints for tanks. And I will pick my favorite looking blueprint. After that, I will 3D model it in Blender, and just maybe I might put it in a game, but I'll have to think about that. As you may be able to observe, we have quite a few already here. That's because I'm not going to show you the boring part of writing prompts and stuff. So we're just going to go right into it now. So here is the design I picked, and here are a few iterations of that design, made with image to image. Anyways, so now we have our source material. Here is why I picked it, because of this shape. So the shape was the biggest interest for me. So I really like the it reminds me of America, early World War II style maybe. It has that smooth front down there, and it has like similar to the Stuart, it has the hall overtaking the fenders, which is something I really like. So I want to recreate that. Now once I picked my design, now it's time to model it. So what I normally start off with Blender, I have my own little, it's pretty inaccurate, but it's something. It's a track layout kit I made. So I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna make it a bit like properly sized. I had a lot of problems with scaling it, the tracks from the start. So the tracks always get changed throughout the entire tank being built. So near the end you will see them actually see a proper scale. At this point I thought it was not worth having roller wheels, but I decided to add those on later. Now here's where I begin getting my grips on the building, modeling I mean. I was just trying to get a feel for it, trying to feel out everything. It looks like crap right now because it is awfully crap, but it will get closer to my end goal eventually. Here I'm just messing around and stuff, blah blah blah. Can't really say much. Let's skip to the next part where I can begin properly shaping the tank. Nothing really special here, me just working on the shape a bit. There's a bit of AFKing around, figuring out what I need to do. Here's the fun part, it's where I'm working on that little elevated hole thing, that part where it goes upwards now. So I'm just getting the shape right here. I got a basic shape here as an example, but this isn't how the shape's actually going to end up being. Here I'm just modifying a bit, trying to get it look closer to the result. But I realize it doesn't look all up to how I want it to be. So I had to take some action. So you see I cut through it, and that means I can now just mark that sharp as well. So we can make that highlight out so it looks more like the image. I also moved around the stuff a lot. Just keep going, see like that. So it's looking a bit more like the image. But I realized it's not perfectly like the image yet, so I wanted to do one more thing. Here is me just fucking up with the bevel. I set the width to 5 meters. So I was considering my choices at this point, so that's why I was not really doing anything here. So I decided I'll cut through and I'll figure something out with that. But I realized that's a bit goofy. So you can see just me struggling with this, me moving it around. Best course of action, if you fucked up something, you could just delete it all. And I just redid it by doing extrusions, which ended up looking a lot more clean. So I just filled in the gaps there. After that, I removed all the sharps, and we basically got what I wanted it to look like. So at this point I was happy with the creation so far, and I said to myself, hey, time to start on the turret. So I began on the turret. It was just me struggling a bit on the turret. But I'm not struggling much, I'm just shaping it, seeing how it should look. Like the image, I decided I'll do it round at first. So I did it, kept messing with it. My Blender kit keeps opening during these clips for some reason, don't ask why. And I noticed, hey, I want to fix the fucking tracks because the tracks look like shit. So first of all, I began by considering my options. I looked at what I have right now. I kept messing around with the width and where the tracks are placed. So it currently looks like shit, but I realized, hey, I'm going to move it up. So, I moved up the sprocket and the front roller wheel, and I began shaping the tracks according to it. And I realized maybe having no roller wheels on the top would be goofy, so I decided I'll add some. So here is me adding some. So now we have the return rollers in place. Now, if you might notice, the tracks are extremely wide right now. Ignore that, I'm working on the turret after this part, and I'm gonna fix it later. Oh, here I am just fixing the shape a bit, yeah. Now I'm just gonna say this is gonna be one long ass section. So what I thought I would do at first, I would mirror the turret and then I'd give it a good shape. I decided to begin working on the external armor first, and then I was going to start on the internal bits. I mean, like how it's covering, how the Panzer IV covers itself with armor in specific variants. That's what I was trying to do. But I realized it looks fucking stupid, so I began just working on the turret itself. And you will notice how horrible this looks. There you go. It looks horrible, doesn't it? I kept working on it because I'm trying to recycle what I could. I was hoping I could keep the armor surrounding the turret, but eventually I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna work on the turret shape itself, which is in a second. So you just have to watch me adjusting this armor shape for like the next few seconds. Okay, there we go. So here I'm beginning to work on the turret itself because I gave up on the external armor a bit. So I wanted to give it a good shape and give it a unique shape, but it isn't circular. Deleted it because I was unhappy with it. Took the one from the external armor, reworked it, deleted the external. I hid the external armor, and I began working on the turret. So I decided I'll pull an America. I think it's American at least, design-wise, where I'm gonna have specifically the back part of the turret lifted. And here I'm just filling it in again and just lifting the back. There we go. That's our turret basically. So this is the point I started working on the gun. Now I'm going to say something that I didn't say earlier. I did ask ChatGPT for statistics for this vehicle. So the statistics are, the name is the Chimera. I forgot the model number. It'll be on screen somewhere there in a second when I open ChatGPT. And the nickname is Ironclad. Yeah. Main gun is a 75mm, and the engine has 300 horsepower, I think. I don't know. It went past way too fast for me to read it. I know it has 80mm frontal and 60mm side and rear, which I think is a bit much. Not sure, because this is meant to be an early World War II, late interwar tank. Somebody tell me if that's good for that era. Not sure. Here's me just finishing off the turret gun and then fixing the tracks so they don't look like ass. I'll see you guys again when the render is fully finished. Here is the tank. You might notice no details. Why is there no details? Because, well, why is there no details? Well, because I want to do a part 2 of this video, and if you give me 50 likes, I will do part 2. Well, I will add all the details, like the hatches, the side armaments, fucking hell, and extra stuff like that. I'm very happy with this shape. The hull is actually pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, I like this tank. Somebody's gonna find the exact tank that the AI stole, probably. To be fair, this reminds me of a real life tank. I just don't know which one. It most reminds me of my Sprocket build, that I did for ETA's competition. Anyways, if you want me to video on one of your drone tanks, then just message me on Discord. Capital H HackerKM9185 is my tag, or if you're in ETA's Discord, I'm in there as well. Anyways, see you guys. Have a good one.